Hey man, hey buddy, how you doing? Let me get my video. Yeah, how's that? How's that? Good? Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're happy about it. It would suck if you weren't. So, I'm glad you. Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Well, I tell you what, man. Um, that's a sign to me of respect. When someone does their whole, I can't say how many times I do these things and people just don't do their fucking homework, and it's kind of insulting. You don't invite somebody on your show, and so tell us, what do you do? I mean, I've had that happen when people have no idea what the fuck I do. So why am I on your show? Like, what am I doing here? No, brother, I have done nothing but TV. I've done one voice acting job. It's Call of Duty. I'm a film and television guy. Yeah, yeah, they had me that, and I'm still Woods. It's just that I'm still. I mean, Woods still lives alive and well. Yeah, and I don't think when people think of Woods, they think of me first. So that's kind of yeah. So just because they hire somebody to imitate me means well, it's still me. Somebody's imitating me. It's still me. So, yeah, it's still the same guy. So I didn't. I'm not a voice actor. I'm not a. Oh no, no. I'm not. I'm not a voice actor. That's a rarefied space for some great people. I'm an actor. I get hired to do uh, technology testing for the game, and then I just stuck. They just liked me. I wasn't. I didn't audition for the role of Woods. They don't want me. They fucking didn't want me as Woods. Only reason I'm there. Have you ever seen the videos they did in this? No, no. There's a video on how I became Woods, and then when I won the VGA, Dave Anthony's was trying to explain. I said, "Look at, we had no idea until this guy came in, and what happened was I just liked me, and then by the time it came to because I started just texting, working with their technology, trying to perfect the technology." And then we got along. So they said, "Do you want to come back and help us do the first level of this game we're working on?" I said, "Sure." Easy money. I like the guys. And then we did a bunch of test levels, and then I didn't hear from them for about 3 months, and then I see that they're casting this thing Call of Duty, and I see they took and they changed the name of the character from Frank Barnes to Frank Woods, and it basically described me to a fucking T. Again, my height, my weight, my say, and and then they hired a guy, and they kept saying, "Well, okay, see how the guy in the demo's doing it. See how he talks. You see how he moves." And then finally, they said, "Well, why don't we just fucking hire the guy who we're telling him to act like?" And then so that's sort of how it went. So I didn't really go out there trying to get the job of Woods. It was I kind of created. No, no, I created the job. I created it. Yeah. That's how most of my jobs come, where there's something I do that's very unique, and that's the thing that draws the job to me. So that's it. No, yeah, it's like it's just a job, man. I do so many more things. I have hundreds of on my IMDb. I have hundreds of. I've been in TV shows. I've been hundreds of TV shows, movies. I've done commercial campaigns. I've done movies in Europe and Japan a couple of times. I have a very big career. Call of Duty is a small part of it, and it's like, well, and it's like anything else. They have the right to hire whoever they want for the job. It's not, I don't know power over that. And so at the end of the day, it's like all it is like, hey, they whatever they decided, they decided. I have no idea what happened. I'm just grateful that I was able to do what I got to do. I was allowed to do something extraordinary, and I, I was given the freedom to create a character based on my ideas. I had a lot of input. I got to inject all my ideas, my personality, and then I got to write for the character. I wrote almost all my dialogue during the whole time. So that was something. Who gets to do that? I mean, I wrote all my fucking dialogue in Black Ops too, and I wrote most of Rich McDonald's and a lot of. So they gave me the freedom to write and to really be part of the creative system. So that was still, man. I am so grateful. I couldn't ask for anything better. So when they made a decision, fine, I'm fine with it. Plus, yeah, I was on to other things, man. I have a lot going on. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, well, well. A lot of times, the there's a saying in film that a movie gets made three times. It gets made once when the writer writes it. Gets made another time when the director directs it. Then it gets made a third time when the editor edits it. So, and sometimes the three never match at all because it's each time a good project, a good creative project should always evolve and grow as you go through the process. If you're really finding it stagnant, or this is why it's really hard when we have a writer director who's starring in his film. You can't wear too many hats. So there was a nice evolution. There's a proper evolution. This. Um, well, it depends on what you're doing. Quite frankly, like I work with Deviation Games too, which is Dave Anthony's company that he just closed down. You're you better be ready to mop some floors and get some coffee, uh, because the guys who they hire, it's like the NFL of gaming world. It's the best of the best, and every one of these guys who are at Deviation Games, or even they've all got massive credits. And you may come in you may have to go in and work for free for a couple of years just to get in the door and prove yourself, or go out. Like, I know every guy I know who worked in the industry had made their own game and had sold it or had been successful with it. So it's you can't go in as a beggar. You have to go in offering something, and they got plenty of people who work hard. They need somebody who's going to bring in. Um, you want to be absorbed by the game company, not looking for a job. You want to have built something that they want. Now you have leverage. But if not, you can go in there and just try to bang on doors and find these smaller roles. But the people who are in the business, it's rarefied air, man. So I hope I'm not discouraging you. I'm just saying, reasonably speaking, I would suggest you go out, build a game, build something that you can market as evidence, and say, here, this is this game I built. It's got 100,000 followers. it's done this, it's done that, it's made some money. That's more interesting than somebody who's saying, here's my resume, I went to school. Like, yeah, thank you. Come back when you're ready. That it's more like show that you can do the job first, then go then go ask for an opportunity. But you got to build something first. You need evidence, yeah. Good, good. Good move. Good move. Yeah, and again, don't ever try to avoid being a beggar. And a beggar means you're going and asking for a job. You're begging. Go in, offer something that they don't have. What I advise people, how I kind of do things, go do some deep research, find out what they need, go solve the problem, then bring it in. Then when you go look for a job, here, I know you've been trying to cut this tree down. Here, I already cut the tree down for you. So go in, go find out what the company needs, what their big problem is, then do something that fixes that problem, and then offer it to them. I guarantee you they get you a job. But if you go in there, think, what do you do? Oh, I got this, and where do you see yourself in 6 years? It's like really, you know, hang on, I got to take care of her. Hang on, sorry, man. Well, it's kind of a crazy time of year because there's a lot a lot of jobs are transitioning. I have people who are, it's like year event stuff. I just wrapped on a film yesterday, and I got to prep for January, but I got to now I got three jobs asking for the same dates, so I need to so I got to figure out which job how do I so just it's always it's time management, but it's also learning how to manage up. How do you manage the people who are in charge of you? So yeah, it is. It is. So where are you located? What part? Oh, so you're on the west side. Yeah, yeah. You're coal country. It's coal country, right? No, coal. 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 You guys, there's a lot of coal mining out there, right? Yeah. Sure. Have you seen the movie called Feast of the Seven Fishes? Oh, it's fucking great, man. It's about Western Pennsylvania. It's Christmas Eve, Western Pennsylvania. These Italian families. It's a comedy. It's fucking great. Yeah, it's great, man. It's called Feast of the Seven Fishes. I think it's on Netflix now. It's fucking amazing. Great movie. I love it. Very simple. There's a few of the guys from The Sopranos are in it. A lot of unknown actors, but it's just it's a great Christmas movie. And it's a small town in Western Pennsylvania. And you're going to see it. Oh my God. I've been to this bar. Like I'm from Western Mass, and it's very similar, hills, mountains, and like very industrial, the same kind of buildings and kind of run down. It was just kind of great. And it was, I go, oh my God, it's like my hometown. It's like, that's where I grew up, just like that. So yeah, look it up, man. It's called Feast of the Seven Fishes. And if you have a girlfriend, it's a really good date movie, or a wife or something. Or you know. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Hmm. Good point. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good way of putting it. I like that. It's a nice way of putting it. That's right. That's right. Everything's an experience in you. It's always, unless it puts you in the ground, it's going to make you stronger, smart, hopefully make you better, faster, stronger. Unless it puts you in the ground. But then, it's always an opportunity to learn something new. That's how you improve. How do you stay present? How do you give up the past, give up the lesser for the greater, give up the past for the present? And other than that, that's a real simple life philosophy that works for me. Sure, dive away. Oh, brother, you gotta be a lot more specific than that. I can't. You're asking me this describe Greek history. I mean, how am I gonna ask me questions? Don't make me don't. If you want to make this work as an interviewer, have questions because when you do these blank, you're asking your guests to do all the work, and I'll give you answers, but you can't have him make up the questions. Don't make me decide what is interesting to your audience. You decide. Ask me. We've got like 16, 20 minutes here. So what are your have specific questions of things you want to know? Hey man, what's it like being Woods? It's great. So it was good. It was good. The experience was good. Yes. Well, Woods did not exist before Black Ops One. Yes. Well, as an artist, you're always incorporating as much of your authenticity as you can. I had done a lot of prior to even knowing about Call of Duty. I had done a lot of research on SOG. There's a book by John J. Plaster called The Secret Commanders of the SOG. And so he was the original kind of SOG. He's the original Rambo. And he had a great book. And I read some books on Carl, because I grew up during the Vietnam War. So I was intrigued by it. And I had been paying it, I started acting in 2005. So I did a lot of military roles. So I kept researching that and trying to get more well versed so I understand what the language was. So it really had a combination of the things I've read from the book of from John Plaster's book, from a couple really cool documentaries I saw on the Vietnam War. I grew up next door to a Green Beret. He was my fishing buddy, so I remember him. And a lot of it is just me being a hockey player and coach for 25 years. A lot of Woods is based on what on my deliverance as a hockey coach. How I talk to my players. It's always like, hey, the fuck you doing? Get over it. Come on, dipshit, get over here. That stuff, like it's not a beratement. It's just kind of like it's a flick in the ear. Dipshit, come here. It's me telling you, okay, you did something, you fucked up, and now I'm not. I just announced it, you fucked something up. Now it's not calling you an asshole. It's not calling you diminishing you. It's like, okay, come here, you fucked up. That kind of thing. So it was really the whole Woods deliveries, as you're talking about. This is how Woods talks. This is how my voice sounds. So Woods, now you change the environment, the intensity. My voice goes up and down depending on what the situation needs. But basically, Woods is built on my chassis, and um, and plus input from what was needed by the script and what was needed by the director and for the game. So it's always a collaboration. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny, I was a kid. We always played army. I had an arsenal of plastic guns. I had BB guns, and we used to have rock fights and apple fights, and like we used to brawl in the streets. So it's like farm country, basically dairy country. So I mean, I grew up having apple fights with kids. The union boys would go over to the guys down the street, and you would ambush. So there was all this understanding of conflict from when I was a child. Kids died from getting hit in the head with a rock. Another kid drowned. I mean, there's always, so I was around death. I was around, and I've always was a hunter and fisher, so I was very okay with being physical. And then I love to shoot guns, and I love playing army. So, and the best part about playing army is that you can act like a badass, but you don't. No one's really shooting at you. So yeah, I'm not a tough guy at all, but I can play a tough guy because no one's gonna fucking hurt me, really. And if I do get it, if I get, oh my god, it's cut. Are you okay? Do you need some water? That's it's like so I can act like I'm really tough, but I'm not. I'm an artist. I'm very kind of soft actually, but I can play that way because you know it's there's a freedom in that. Like wait a minute, I'm not getting hurt here. This is like, yeah, I played professional hockey. I had guys try to fucking basically kill me. It's not, yeah, that guys who wanted to fucking hurt me. So I knew that. So being on set with actors is like, huh? I'm okay. I take a punch if I have to. So that was so the army roles, and plus because I came to the business so late. I need to take what's available to me, and playing these kind of roles is what was given to me. I wasn't really equipped. I didn't have the tools or the resume to do something more than that. So just playing these military, very martial characters was basically all I could find. That's the only thing they hired me for a long time. Bad guys. Yeah. What do I remember? I can't remember half of them. I remember talking to Dave originally. I think there were 7 ideas for endings. And then we actually shot 5. There's two that aren't in there, I think. Three, three. So basically, what are the 3 endings? He okay, the best ending, Dave's Mason's alive, I'm alive. Menendez is in prison, banging his head in the wall, and then he's got the one where Menendez is dead, and then what else? Yeah, and then what's the third one? Yeah, and then but there's one um where I'm trying to remember the endings now. And yeah, there's a couple endings that we shot that did not make the cut. And I think primarily, from my understanding, is that they just the technology or the program could not handle 5 pathways. It was just too much. It was too big a game. This is like, again, we're talking technology from 10 years ago. And this is ancient technology compared to what's available now. So this is long before they could even get to doing PUBG and even Fortnite. So you had all this massive map and all this confluence. So I think all they could handle story wise, in terms of if you pick A, you go to B. So that fans out pretty quick when you have decision trees, right? So I think they're just limited to 3 stories. Um, Unlike now that they can do whatever they as many as they want. Yeah. Well, I think the conversations I had with Dave a lot, he said that what we want to do is create consequence for your decisions. So you have, the good, the bad, the ugly. And so, so if you do certain things, you get certain outcomes. If you have, and so what are the outcomes you are getting people to encourage them to do it? A negative outcome, if you do these certain things that are self-gratifying, that have instant gratification now, like if you kill Menendez right away, then bad shit happens, right? Or if you don't kill Menendez and he gets bad, or if you do the things by the right things that aren't instantly gratification, you get the good ending. So the idea was to create consequence, and then you get to have see the results of your decision making. I I don't know if that's possible to have a canon ending because you have so many different writing teams working on it. I don't ever remember there being a master plan. I remember getting I saw the pitch that the writer gave for Black Ops 2, and it took 2 hours, but the canon endings, it's just there it's you I don't know why. I don't think you would do that because it would limit their ability to keep expanding on it. So that would be a bad business decision, number one, because if you say this is the story, then all of a sudden you're okay. Now you're going to have to, you know, go back, and then there's just timeline issues. There's timeline issues that don't make any fucking sense because you got one company do it than another, so all these timelines are different, and then you have stories that are different, and then so making it cohesive would have to be a game. You'd have to make a game of its own game, making it spend the whole game solving the issues of the cohesion of the story. And there's some things I don't know how you rectify certain things. I don't know how you and now that you've gone into Cold War and Black Ops 6, I don't know how you reframe it. You just got to hope that people don't pay attention. That yeah. Well, yeah. Again, that's who knows what that's about. I don't know. I don't. So I haven't watched or seen Black Ops 6 yet. I haven't. Don't have the time for that. But yeah, I don't know where they're going with it. I don't know. I don't know. No, no. I think it's. I'm not glad. I don't have an opinion about it. I do think when I watch Cold War, because I do have such a close relationship and an understanding of the history. Like I was there from before day one. I was there during the modeling, right, of the game. So there's certain connective tissue that I recognize, and I think just because most of the writing staff is gone that was there over the years with me, and they brought people in, and I don't think they got them up to date quickly. I think they just they were fans, but they didn't understand all the backstories and how to keep that consistent. And people have their own ideas, and I'm sure the guys over at Raven they had some ideas they liked. So all of a sudden, you have the more ideas you get, the farther away from the original narrative you go. So what I see is that there's certain scenes, there's certain as an actor, as an artist, as an actor, you there's a rule that I love to use. If I can if I can show it, I don't need to say it. So if I can just have an emotion, I don't need to say I'm upset. Just be upset, right? And if you can say it, then then make sure that so the idea is, so being able to portray information. And the other way they think, don't never say anything unless it progresses plot or it progresses character, which means that if it, the line's got to reveal something about the character moving forward, or explain something about the character, or it has to serve the narrative, get us, or narrative means, I call it connective tissue. And what I see when I watch Cold War is that there could have been a lot of opportunity to really solve the problem we're talking about. Anthony, tie in the past games in this instead of wasting it on certain what I call light superfluous moments. You still could have been funny, but you could have tied it into an event that now connects you to Black Ops 1, or you could foreshadow something from Black Ops 2 in that moment. So, but if you don't have knowledge, and if an infant, that's what it's called, an intimate knowledge of Black Ops 2 and the sub stories and the backstories, and an intimate knowledge of what happened in Black Ops 1, and how did we solve this problem? How did we solve that? And what are the layers of understandings and narratives? If you don't understand both of them clearly, then you're not going to be able to, okay, I can fit this in here. Oh, I can use this moment to explain that. Oh, I can use this moment to set this up so that makes sense in the future, right? So I see a lot of lost opportunity in Cold War, that, oh, you could have used this moment to explain why this happened. Oh, this moment could have explained what happened back there. That's what I when I watch Black Cold War, I just see a lot of lost opportunity. It really, well, it's just to bring the story to be a little bit more cohesive as much as you can. Because again, great character because he's been in all three. Bring him, to explain things to people. Hey, you know, back here he did this. That was Weaver. Remember, whatever it was. That's. I think that would have been a really effective tool for creating a cohesion through the storyline. Wow, that's best. Yeah, yeah, buddy.